Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Oxygen Not Included. This one's going to be a little bit different than all the others that I've done so far because we're actually going to be playing the legitimate game. However, there's going to be a little twist. The immune system's going to be on miserable. Duplicate mood, which is stress, is going to be fatalistic. So they get stressed out easier, they get sick easier. Basically, it makes it harder. And I've always wanted to do this, but I've never actually tried to play a game through with these settings, so why not make a video out of it? And I am recording this as a voiceover because for some reason whenever I did the original video, it didn't pick up the voice. I think maybe my mic was muted, I don't know. So I've cut down the clip, which was originally like 2 hours long. I plan on cutting it anyway. But now it's just kind of an extra step. I have to do this voiceover. So if it seems like I don't really know what's going on, or if I'm like remembering things, that's why. So there's the world seed if you want to play along with the map. I got my tea. I'm ready to go. Just waiting on the load here. Probably should have cut that part out, huh? Too late now. We're already rolling. So I remember that I did want to start, since I had loaded up a game before on fatalistic settings just to kind of see how bad it would be, and I remember I wanted to start with like a good first starting duplicate set, so people that weren't like over easily stressed or whatever, like no extra decor requirements, anything like that. I wanted someone good at construction, so he was narcoleptic, I think. Yeah, I was like, narcoleptic, not too good. Noodle arms, kind of bad. Let's see what I go for here. Anemic. Didn't go for that. I think I stay with this guy, yeah. 5 construction, Yoko, can't research. Whatever. Pretty good first starting sets there. He's got athletics too, nice little bonus. So there's my builder, basically. And now I think I'm going to look for a digger. Or a researcher, either one. That's kind of what I usually go for to start off with. In fact, yeah. So mouth breather with mole hands, that's going to be fine for digging. And then I go for a researcher, I'm sure. Because gotta have that research speed, man. Normally, like in a regular game, I would just try and get everybody with as high as learning as I could. That way, no matter what I needed them to do, they would learn it quick, they'd pick it up, and that would be great. And here we have a +3, it looks like, and I think I just roll with that, which is gonna be fine. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm gonna set the priorities for my builder and my digger, and then I don't think I reset the research yet because I don't really need to, but don't have a research station, so it's not really gonna do anything for me here. I'm trying to figure out which way I want to dig first. I see I always uproot briar blossoms, or they annoy me. I don't know why. But this is like my startup game ritual. I always uproot all the briar blossoms and then I auto harvest all the plants that are useful to me, not balm lilies or peach pepper nuts. So I'm liking the starting area. I've got a nice little water puddle to the left and one right above it, so I can drop that one above it down into the bottom one, and that's going to be nice. I've also got a lot of metal really close by, so this is awesome. And I've also got quite a few plants that I can live off of with those shine bugs in there. They'll make those I confuse briar blossoms. You know what I mean. The plants, they're called briars, I think. I don't know. Bristle blossoms and briar something. I'm getting mixed up. But the shine bugs have got the bristle blossoms in there, so that's going to be a nice little food source. There's also one below me, as well as one to the right of me. So I'm going to have a nice little starting food area where I don't really have to rush getting any kind of farming up. So immediately I'm going to start planning out a bathroom. Now I need access to the water for the wash basin and whatnot. I'm also getting building to the right because that's where I'm going to be building my first little area, kind of, where my bunks are going to go, also my research station, and my hamster wheel and all that. And I believe my toilet goes right under the, yeah, I'm digging out an area for my toilet right there. Or I will be. Yeah, there we go. So that's where I'm going to be putting my toilets for now. Now what I normally do is I'll normally dig as far as I can to one side and then place my bathrooms over there, and that'll kind of just sit there for a while until I get plumbed toilets and things. And I don't really want this hatch eating my muckroot and like any food I may have. So I was going to attack it, and then I think I'm like, you know what, let's just sweep up the muckroot, because hatches are pretty valuable to have, especially early on. You can dump them down with like some stuff that you don't really care about, some sandstone or whatever, and they can just make you coal, which is great. So I think I keep them around for that reason. But kind of boring stuff right here. Maybe I should have cut a little more of this out. I did try and shorten the video like as much as I could, but I don't know, there's a lot there, so kind of difficult sometimes. Just trying to prioritize digging in a way that doesn't get a duplicate stuck, because they love to do that to themselves. I have no idea why. Got plenty of metal already, which is awesome. Can definitely get something better going here than... I'm not sure what I start on first. I think I usually work on the toilet, and then after that I go straight for research. But I'm not sure I did that this game. Probably did. The start's not very different from any other game. The settings are a little bit hard, but there's not much stress or any really disease to be had in like the first couple of minutes, so I'm not really worried about that yet. I will be. Oh yeah, that's right. I get a deoxidizer up because I don't want them having the low oxygen debuff, which causes stress. So a lot of this is going to be minimizing as much stress as I possibly can. And I think pretty soon here I turn it up to ×3. But yeah, there we go. But yeah, a lot of this is just going to be trying to minimize stress. So there's going to be a lot of focus on decor and keeping things swept. If you can see kind of the way I'm building is I'm digging from the top down. That way everything I dig up just falls to the bottom, and I don't really have to worry about sweeping it yet. So normally if I just built this, you know, as soon as I could, there'd probably be some debris up there, so I'd have to worry about it a little bit. But right now there's not. It's pretty clean, and I don't check the decor, but I'm pretty sure if I did it would be 0. So that's great. And like I said, the decor value early on isn't really an issue. Stress isn't really a problem until you start getting like a lot of debris buildup or some ugly wires running through or something. So I'm just setting up an area for the pitcher pump. And that's going to be perfectly fine. Now, one thing I do remember about this game is running through water, like little puddles like that constantly, really racks up the stress. And if it's just a little bit, then it's not a big deal. Like if they're just going to mop it up and they just get it for a little bit, it's fine. But oh man, if they continuously run through it, it's pretty bad. So we're getting our first outhouse set up here. And I always plan for 2 of these because I know they're going to be around for a while, so I know I'm going to need 2 of them. So definitely prioritizing that pitcher pump. Want to get this set up so we can keep the disease down to a minimum, the food poisoning that is. If they go to the bathroom, they don't wash their hands afterwards, then we're going to start getting issues. But as long as we got that wash basin, not going to have any problems. Got my research station up now. Got a few other extra things. Starting to build my bunker, or not my bunker, my beds, my barracks. And so we're going to go for the farming research so we can get some millwood going. Millwood early on, definitely the best thing you can do. Bristle blossoms take way too much water. Although this map I do have enough water, but I don't think I've discovered it yet. And yeah, I mean, I could probably grow a few bristle blossoms and like up my food value, which might make my life a little easier on the stress side, because this is the expressive upgrade, so it's got the morale, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's the morale. So decor is not the only thing you need to worry about anymore as far as stress goes. If they have a morale worse than what they require, which is based on their job, then they'll just naturally gain stress. And while having fatalistic on top of that means they just get more stressed. So, and I think the way it works is anything that causes stress just causes more stress is how it works. It's how fatalistic works. So it's gonna be a pain in the butt. And there's a clip. I don't know how deep into the video it is, but there's a clip that you'll see. You'll see how much like just one little thing can stress your dupes out. I don't want to spoil it, but we'll get there. So just kind of making more areas for me to build in, giving myself more room to set up whatever I need, because I know I'm going to need some stuff pretty soon here. And the stress isn't bad right now, 7%. Now, when I loaded up like just a test game to see how bad it was, in Fatalistic, I was maybe at cycle 4. I didn't really worry about the stress too much, just to kind of see how much it gave me. And my dupes were up to like 20% at cycle 4, with like nothing special, just debris, basically. The debris was causing them to stress out. So I made sure this game to kind of focus on keeping the debris all the way at the bottom, you know, never building my floor until I drop that debris down a couple notches. And it worked out really well. As you can see, the stress isn't insane, despite being on the fatalistic setting. Immune system's still great because we don't really have any source to that. We do have our wash basin up. We got our pitcher pump, so there shouldn't be any issues there. And we're just kind of, well, I guess we can't get to it right now, but it's fine because it's already got water in it. And we're just trying to dig over there to make sure we can refill it. I prioritize the wall, that way I don't get any water leakage before digging that out. Again, just clearing more room for myself, keeping an eye on the stress. Not really any issues yet. Not really sure. Not much to talk about right now. I should have cut a little more of this out, but I think we get a scene switch pretty soon here. Just thinking about walling up my bathroom. I'm thinking about the spacing I need. I was leaving a space for something. I don't remember what. Oh, that's right. Okay. So I knew I was going to eventually put toilets in here, and I wanted a place for my polluted water to go and be dumped into. So I was thinking about maybe I'm going to have a ladder at the very end of there, underneath. That way any polluted oxygen that floats up just goes straight into the bathroom, and I can put a deodorizer like right at the entrance, and it'll be fine. But I changed my mind later on that, I think, when I actually decide where I want to dump the polluted water. I think up there I'm planning on putting some massage tables and making a room out of it to make a massage parlor, because that's the new thing. And I'm not sure how much more stress it relieves than like a regular massage table. But there we go. There you can see it's starting to get set up. I do need to put like a potter plant in there. And you can see I got my second outhouse being queued up there. I've got some planter boxes being ready. Starting to add on a little more to my barracks here in preparation for a next dupe. Got some storage going on down at the bottom. Now the storage is going to be temporary, but I figured I would add a lot because if I need debris swept, I want that to happen. I don't want to have to wait for something to be built. So I definitely want plenty of storage ready. Got the composter as well, and I'm building up towards the other little pool of water up there so I can drop it down into my main basin. And over here we discover I have a cool steam vent, so I've got plenty of water right off the bat. There's also the natural gas to the left if you saw. So I've also got a natural gas geyser, which is amazing. Means water, means power, means heck yes, man, that's perfect. That's going to give me everything I need for a nice start on the base. And we are going to go for those relatively quickly, probably quicker than I normally would, just because I don't plan on getting like a whole lot of dupes out. I'll probably stick to 8 maximum for quite a while. And I don't rush towards the 8, I kind of wait for ones that I actually want. And here to the left is where I'm going to be dumping my water, my polluted water that is. And then I'm planning underneath that to build my algae terrariums. And I learned this from Brothgar. He did it, I don't know, maybe like a month ago or something. He did a video on purifying water with algae terrariums, and it was straight genius. So I've been using that in literally every base I make. I always at least do a couple algae terrariums, and I don't really use polluted water because I don't make I typically don't make lice loaf or any other things. I just usually eat millwood and then upgrade the mushrooms later on. But I think in this game I'm gonna have to change that up, because the stress or the morale is going to be more important than, you know, in previous games. This is the first time I played on the expressive without, you know, not just testing like a legitimate game. So here we've got some more millwood queued up here, because my calories are getting quite low, and I know I'm going to be needing a reliable food source pretty soon. So, and I do actually hit like 0 for a while, and it's a little sketchy. It's a little bit sketchy. I've almost got the basin for my polluted water set up there. The algae terrariums aren't going to come till later, because I'm not going to have the tech for it. I'm not going to have the pumps and the plumbing and all that for it till later. I think I go for like coal generator and stuff. So here we are getting a new dupe. I don't remember if I grab any of these. We'll see. So we have Catalina here. And let's see what I set her to. I don't remember. Farmer. Okay, that's right. Yeah. So I'm starting to plant things, so it's good to have a farmer. And then she'll supply when she's not farming, which is good. It's a good amount of the time, you know. Farmers don't tend to spend all of their time farming, so they can often be set to cook or supply or do some other kind of sweeping tasks. And that's going to work pretty well. So a polluted water basin is almost done. I can start dumping all of my polluted water in there. I put a water cooler down just because I thought, well, let's test it out, because I haven't really messed with any of that stuff yet. And I figured they would use it, but I don't think they ever ended up using it, and I remove it later. But just making sure I had a prime researcher, I think. I don't know if I haven't set their jobs yet. This is what I realized. I was like, oh, I haven't set their jobs. So I had to go and do that. That way my research, because my research wasn't getting done, at least the advanced research, so went and set that. I only put 2 of them in because I didn't want to raise the morale too much yet, because I wasn't really prepared to deal with that at the moment. I just wanted to kind of not have the burden of having to manage the stress of that. But here I think I throw 1 into a gopher position there, and the rest of them just sit and wait patiently for a job. And honestly, looking back, I could easily have put the others into like a gopher or builder, and I think I realized this later on, but the food from millwood and stuff is enough, I think, to where it's not going to hurt anything, because I think it's like a 2. That next tier is a morale of 2 requirement, and all they really require is millwood. I don't remember, but I know it wouldn't affect me that much with the other buffs I could give them to morale. So got our toilets running, and those toilets are going to be the doom of me, man. Well, almost. They almost be the doom of me. You'll see. But so far, we've got pretty much everything I need. I'm really happy with my my starting resources. I got a lot of metal close by. Got the cool steam geyser, the natural gas vent. I'm like, heck yes, dude. This run is going so good. And I couldn't really ask for more on a setting like this. On a hard setting, you know, I didn't really have to struggle for any kind of resources early on, and just checking my rooms there, realized that my massage parlor was not up because I didn't have a decoration item in it, so got that planted. As you can see, we're starting to get a little bit of polluted water build up from the outhouse or the wash basins and whatnot. We've got one algae terrarium. We've got our light set up for when we get the rest of them. We did end up dumping that down. As you can see, I've got plenty of water. I've still got one water basin, like lower than that one. I don't know if I ever show it, but get my rock granulator set up here so I can start making refined metals. One thing I like to do really early on in pretty much every game is go for a smart battery. So as you can see, this coal generator is just running non-stop. Now it's not a problem. Actually, it looks like it is a problem because my batteries are full, but that's the problem, and that's why I like to go for smart batteries early on, because this coal generator will just run non-stop even when I don't need it, and it wastes a lot of coal. Well, if you only run it a few cycles, maybe not so much, and you could like manually turn it down and say, you know, don't run, or you can disable it, but I tend to not like to do those things. I kind of want to automate as much as I can. Going for smart batteries right off the bat, personally something I love to do. It really simplifies a lot of stuff, actually. I think I don't pick any of the duplicates because I'm not really particularly fond of any of them, so, or I didn't want to take another one and I didn't like any of them, so I disabled that because I'm not taking any more dupes at this point. And I think I sit on 5 for a while, probably until I get enough food. Actually, I don't remember what it is. My food looks fine now, but I think my food eventually drops down. Here I'm just starting to dig over to the cool steam vent because I know eventually I'm going to need that, so I may as well get it set up. And I found sort of a little path because that room right there is just infected with tons of slime lung, and that's something I do not want to deal with. But their immune system's so shoddy, definitely don't want to mess with that. So I found like a little path I could carve that I didn't have to touch any of the slime lung. And that's probably going to save my butt, to be honest, because I think if they get slime lung, I'm just going to have a whole bunch of issues. And that's something I'm going to be really careful about. Probably not going to exit my base, you know, like the safe area, safe biome, until I get some exosuits, which is a challenge because the only reed fibers are in areas with slime lung. So that's going to be an issue. So here is a problem. You can see both my bathrooms are out of order right now. They have no more visits left over. So I'm just sitting here like, please somebody empty the toilet. But nobody did it. And I had them on priority 8, and I guess that's why they weren't doing it. I don't know, but I put it to 9 and then it gets done. I've got people peeing, and you can look at the stress right now. It's at about 20%. And this little soggy feet debuff actually almost kills me. It almost kills the colony, man. And if I didn't have that massage parlor, it probably would. And here I'm trying to figure out like why nobody's emptying the toilet. What priority do I need to make this for people to empty toilets? Because I wasn't sure on that. I thought it was tidy, but I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's tidy, to be honest. So I take operate off. I take supply and storage off. Well, I think I leave storage. So this person is basically main job is to tidy and storage, but storage doesn't happen that much, I don't think, so we'll see if they get to it. I don't know. There's a lot of pee floating around. People are getting massages in a room with pee and stuff. They're disinfecting them, but they're not plumbing them. I think, yeah, she does it right after she disinfects it. Okay. Finally, somebody's getting to the toilet. But I don't think they even finished it. I think they stopped like halfway through or something. You can see I've got tons of storage going on. Like I said, I don't want to deal with any kind of debris. If I need it swept up, I can do that. And it'll be that way right away. I won't have to wait for anything to be built. Here I'm messing with the priorities again, trying to get them to do whatever. Oh yeah, I saw someone was plumbing it, so I turned the priority for supply back up, but alas, she didn't finish it. So now I'm just... Oh, there's another P. Oh wait, no, that's hypothermia. That's right. People started getting hypothermia because of this. And so I had to build a med bed and things. And finally, someone's getting to the toilet. Thank you, dupes. Thank you. But look at the stress. Stress is up to 30% right now. Or close to it. Should be 30%. But it continues to climb because of this hypothermia. And yeah. So now she's sneezing and spreading germs all over the place. So we'll see what happens with that. But it is not pretty. But I know that if I can just get past this, then I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. Because the whole reason that happened was because I turned the priority on my toilets down to 8. And they got to be 9, I guess. Or they just don't happen quick enough. And at this point I'm thinking, well, maybe I should rush towards plumbing right away. Or sanitation. And get those toilets because... this might be an issue continuing forward, and I don't want that. I don't remember. Oh, I'm just looking at what I unlocked with research. I was gonna set this up, but realized it would shut the coal generator off, so I didn't. Or maybe I did. I think I change it later on because my batteries are full right now. So I'm like, you know what, we'll just do this, and then I'll deconstruct the wire later, just to shut my generator off, basically. Start making some refined metal so I can get that smart battery up and running, because I am going for that. I'm pretty sure my research is set to that. And it does hurt other things to go like straight for the smart battery early on, but I think it's worth it. In my opinion, it's definitely worth it if you can get away with it. Getting some med beds up. I think only one person has hypothermia. Maybe one, maybe 2 have it, but figured I only need 1. Just looking at what priorities I have for what storage, because there's some storage I set for like seeds only, and then others I set for dirt only because I didn't want the hatches eating the dirt. So I was hoping that all the dirt would get swept up, and I set the priority really high. And most of it did. I probably could have set another one to dirt, and the rest of it would have been swept up. I don't care if the hatches eat other things, but I don't want them eating my dirt, man. I've oftentimes had, like, really big bases, and then just, like, ran out of dirt. And it happens so quick, it seems like. It seems like I have 90 tons, and then all of a sudden I'm down to 0. And I'm just not paying attention. But that's what happens later on. When things get like super sustainable and you don't really have to monitor too much stuff, you just run on ×3 the entire time, and well, resources disappear. So here I'm starting to make some lice loaf because the morale, I know I had plenty of water to do it, and I had some people with morale issues, so they were like 3 out of 4. So I needed that +1 from the lice loaf, so I started making that. Normally I wouldn't do this, but that expressive upgrade, it might be something, you know, that I'm required to do from now on. At least if I want to give people jobs, which I definitely do. Here, just checking things that need to be swept. Do have my first little barracks area up. And you can see my stress at this point is still going up from, well, not just the P, but I don't actually know why they're going up. Maybe it is the P. Maybe the P is still causing that issue. I don't know. But I know one person had hypothermia, so that was the stressful thing. And then I think it may have been the core issues. Not really sure. But long story short, I do survive. And I do bring that stress back down to a manageable level. And it's all thanks to those massage tables, man. I really don't know how else you get rid of stress than having the massage tables. Like, serious stress. I think stress will naturally go down by itself, but that's assuming that you're not getting any stress from any sources. Here I'm just plumbing out my... I just finished the first part of... Yeah, plumbing. I just finished plumbing, basically. So um, I'm getting kind of the setup I want for my purifiers. So my sieve is going to go up there. Sieve, sieve, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to have 2 toilets, 2 sinks where the outhouses are. And then it's gonna go through the sieve and then dump onto my terrariums down below. As you can see, I've got those up and running. Got the light on them to give me that little bit of boost. Moved my food storage down to the carbon dioxide so I don't have to worry about any spoilage. Not that I have a bulk of food anyway, but eventually I will, so it's nice to have that down there and ready. Catalina's up at night for some reason. I don't know, she should be sleeping, but maybe she fell asleep or something. I do have 1 narcoleptic in here, so maybe it's her. And I've got tons of hatches. This is something I noticed, that I had tons of hatches kind of just floating around eating stuff, and I was pretty happy about that, honestly, because I knew my coal supply was going to be going up, or at least not going down as fast. And I've got the smart battery set up now, so I'm not going to be wasting any coal, which is awesome. And here I'm running the automation for the hydro sensor, so my pump will shut off when there's too much water on the terrariums. And looking back at this terrarium design, it wasn't that great because my dupes end up running through it to get to the pitcher pump and whatnot, so they end up getting the soggy feed debuff and more stress, so I ended up closing that off with a wall. At least one side of it. They still need access so they can clean out the terrariums and whatnot. I think I was thinking about if a weight plate, if a weight plate could activate water, because I didn't have the hydro sensor yet. Now I'm looking where it is. But yeah, weight plates say explicitly on them they're not triggered by gas or liquid, so that was a no-go. And for some reason I can't find the hydro sensor, but I mean I see it clear as day right now. I don't know, brain fart, you know, these things happen sometimes. So I am going for sanitation, as you can see at this point. So we're gonna get those toilets up and running, and this is something I didn't know at the time, but having a plumbed bathroom actually gives you a +2 morale boost. So if I knew that, I would have probably went for the toilets a little bit quicker, maybe. Maybe I would have skipped the smart battery and went for the toilets and then went back for the smart battery. I don't know. Because I was having a little bit of morale issues, which is why I made the light slope thing. But I'm kind of curious as to what other things give like big morale boosts like that you just normal things you would do. I'm not sure if showers give a morale boost. I did end up building one, but I never really checked if it gave a boost, so we'll see that. And as you can see, people are running through the terrariums already. I don't have the vent going yet, so it's not really a big deal, but in the future it will be. But so far, I know I survived the first little mishap with the pee and the stress, so I'm pretty happy at this point. I'm still happy about the base and how it's going. And the future is looking pretty good for these dupes, I'm not going to lie. Got doubled my millwood farm, as you can see. So we're going to be making tons of that. And I don't remember if it's this episode or the next one, but I do limit people. I do limit people from eating millwood and let them eat mill lice only. Now, that's going to be the end of this episode. If you enjoyed it, I do appreciate you watching. Please hit that thumbs up button. Leave me a comment. Hit subscribe. You know, show a little support. I would greatly appreciate it. And we will see you next time.